guys, so today I'm gonna be looking at true scary stories. Yeah, let's just get right into the video. When I was in elementary school, I shared a queen-size bed with my older sister, and our family dog would sleep at the foot of our bed every night. When I was about 6 years old, I woke up one night around midnight and saw a dark figure standing at the foot of the bed. The figure was entirely in black without any eyes or a face. I tried to wake my sister up, but she rolled over to go back to sleep. My sister must have accidentally kicked the dog because the dog woke up and raised her head and started growling at the figure at the foot of the bed. The growling then woke my sister up, and she saw the figure and started screaming. When my parents came into the room and turned the light on, nothing was there. What? How is the older sister even more scared than the 6-year-old? About a year before my son was born, my boyfriend's father died. I had never met my boyfriend's father, but heard stories of his twisted sense of humor and how he liked to screw with people. Over the first month of caring for our newborn, we started to notice screws that had fallen out of the household items. Kitchen chairs, towel rack, screen door, outlet cover, the most random stuff. More than a dozen loose screws in the span of a week. Kinda weird, but we were sleep-deprived parents and didn't really have the mental stamina to waste trying to figure it out. One day we're chilling in the living room and a screw falls out of the light fixture and lands in my boyfriend's lap. He starts laughing hysterically, so hard he can't breathe. When he finally calms down enough to tell me what set him off, he holds up the screw and says, "I finally get it. My dad is screwing with me." Never had a loose screw since. So that was the reason, because after he said that, there were no more loose screws. Oh my gosh. When you're a ghost and you're just lingering around just to screw with people, wow. Maybe that was like his mission as a ghost or something, you know? Like someone has to figure out it's you doing it and then you can go on to the afterlife or something. I don't know, I watched way too many dramas. So as a youngster, me and my brother were staying up late playing video games since we didn't have school the next morning. It was maybe 3 AM when we decided to shut it down and get in bed. My room is at the end of the hall while my brother was right next to mine. After we shut it off and put the controllers away, we both hear these heavy slow footsteps coming from the kitchen. The kitchen was the only room without carpet, so they sounded pretty ominous. We gave each other a look and I called down the hall, "Dad?" But then the footsteps sound trailed back towards our laundry room and stopped. That's also where our basement door is. Well, we knew something wasn't right, so we both start yelling for our mum and dad, and they come rushing to us all sleepy and confused, and we frantically explain what we heard. My dad goes and checks it out and tells us that all doors are still locked and closed, and there wasn't anything showing anyone was in the house. Oh my gosh. What if, because their parents knew that they stayed up so late, they used this as something to scare them, so they won't stay up late anymore? I don't know, I'm just thinking, you know, what if, what if? I lived in one of the oldest apartments in the town I was living in. Couldn't sleep one night, but eventually I must have dozed off as I started having an incredibly vivid dream of myself laying in bed. Everything the exact same as in reality, except my door opened and a creepy old lady started ominously walking towards me. I woke up and freaked out. I always locked my door, but just to be sure I went and checked it. It was unlocked. Wait, was it a dream or was it not a dream? Hold on a second. If it was unlocked, then does that mean someone came in? That honestly sounded like sleep paralysis though. When I was pregnant with my first, I had the worst night terrors. One night I was having a night terror where aliens were hovering over the house and had taken me to the dining room where they laid me on the table and tried to remove the baby from my uterus. I never got back to sleep that night. This is actually like a horror movie. Never thought of it again until a few years later. My son was now 4. We are driving home from somewhere when he pipes up from the back seat. "Hey mum, do you remember that night the aliens tried to take me from your belly and you said no?" The goosebumps were instant and the husband and I just looked at each other out of the corner of our eyes. Still freaks me out. How did the kid know? And it was just a dream. Me and my family woke up in the night to the sound of maniac laughing, like evil manic laughing. All of us heard it. It was coming from the attic. Of course it is, of course. My dad, being not superstitious or scared of anything, was white as a sheet. He pulled the attic ladder down and went up to find an alarm clock that had faulty sound randomly going off. Don't believe any supernatural activity made it go off. Just hearing a manic evil laugh in the middle of the night from the attic made us poop ourselves. Wait, how did it go off though? No way it just goes off one day, right? I would actually poop my pants too if I heard evil laughing in the middle of the night. Oh my gosh. Especially like upstairs, you know, Like in the attic? That's scary. I would honestly still think I'm like in a nightmare or something. One time I drove back to college after Christmas, but before the winter break was over, so I was the first of my roommate to get back to the house we were renting. Our house was a pretty isolated spot out of the outskirts of a town in upstate New York. I pulled into the driveway behind the house, went to the trunk and grabbed one of my bags and then ran inside because I had to use the bathroom so badly. I'd been on the road for over 5 hours. I was inside the house using the bathroom for maybe 5 minutes. Afterwards, I went back outside to get the rest of my stuff from the car, and there were footprints in the snow all around it. All around the car? Now, as I said, I was alone in the middle of nowhere. The only set of footprints should have been mine from where I'd gotten out of the car on the driver's side, walked to the trunk, and then walked to the back door. Yet now there was another set of footprints circling the car, and then leading into the woods at the back of the property. It appeared that the footprints had originally come from the woods as well. I had left my trunk open when I was inside because I'd assumed I was alone, and nothing had been taken. But someone had seen me arrive, come out of the woods, circled my car, and returned to the woods. Oh, that is so creepy when you think you're alone in the middle of nowhere and this happens. They just left? Thank gosh they left though. What do you think their intention was, right? Because they saw them arrive, and then when that person left to go inside, that's when they walked out and circled the car. Maybe they wanted to steal something, but then they were like, oh, this person does nothing, and they went back. I remember one time as a child, I was home on a Saturday morning. For a bit of context, back then, my mum would usually go into work on Saturday mornings and be home usually by 12 p.m. Now back to the story. I was sitting on the couch watching TV. The time started approaching 12, which meant that my mum was almost home. I very vividly remember hearing a car door close, hearing the car lock, and my mum walking into the house calling my name. When I got up to go greet her, there was no one there. Still creeps me out. Oh, this makes me think of like, what if someone like dupes someone, you know? Like a ghost dupes your mum or something and acts like they're your mum, but in reality it's a ghost. So they heard all this, but there was no one there? What if they were just hallucinating because they missed their mum so much or something? I don't know. This is scary. When I was younger, my older cousin lived with us for a bit because she was having behavioral problems at home. My parents had to go at night to pick someone up from the airport, so they left my brother and I with her. My brother and I were both in bed in my room at this point. I think it was a school night, and she was up in the other room doing homework or something. But she finished up, so she comes into my room to lay down with us, but as soon as she opens the door, our house alarm starts going off. She quickly shut the door and come over to me to tell me to be quiet before going back to hold the door closed since it didn't have a lock. My brother, who's older than me by a year, then woke up very confused about what was going on. So the alarm's going off. We're all scared out of our minds, and we can't even call for help because her phone was taken away and we were too young to have one. Our only option is to get to one of the landlines, one in the kitchen and one in my parents' room. So we all get ready, and at the same time we all run to my parents' room and lock their door. My cousin checks their bathroom and closet to make sure no one is hiding in there before calling my parents to let them know what's happening. They say they're only 2 minutes away, so don't worry. But let me tell you, those were the worst 2 minutes of my life. After all is said and done, we find out through the alarm company that the window in my parents' room is what tripped the alarm, and that's the room we moved to. To this day, my parents are convinced she was just trying to sneak in a boyfriend or something, but I'm certain someone was trying to rob the place or worse and got scared off by the alarm because of how completely terrified my cousin looked. Yeah, I doubt the cousin was planning anything if she was also really, really scared, you know, because she sounded like she was really freaked out. So it must have been someone trying to rob them or something. I heard about a story about some robber trying to rob this house, but then the owner was awake and they were in the toilet and they flushed the toilet, and the robber got so scared he just ran out or something because the toilet flush was like so loud. Thank gosh some people get scared easily. A couple of weeks ago, I was laying in bed trying to go to sleep and I hear my TV come on. I lay in bed a few seconds hoping to hear my fat cat jump off the coffee table. I get up and go out to the living room, and said fat cat is posted up on the table by the window and nowhere near the TV remote. The way my house is set up, the bedroom is behind the living room and my living room TV is perpendicular to the wall, not parallel. So I walk up to the back of the TV, and right when I get next to it, it shuts off. Glow of the screen disappears, sound stops. I am 100% freaked out, so I unplug it. That is so scary. Why are TVs so scary in horror movies, honestly? Like, it does that static thing and it's so scary. Okay, I go lay back down in bed. My heart is still going thump, 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 and I'm trying my best to pretend everything is okay. So I lay there for a few minutes and then I hear more noise from the living room. I am so freaked out. So I get my stunt baton out to go check out the new noise. I poke my head into the living room. The TV definitely isn't on. I listen for a few seconds and realize this noise is coming from my laptop. The laptop I haven't opened in probably 2 weeks. In the morning, I'm texting my boyfriend about it, who does so Googling. Turns out almost dead TV remote batteries can send garbage signals that the TV will interpret as the on signal. Oh, so it was just something freaky? Hey, at least this has like an explanation for it, but there's no explanation for the laptop. I can't imagine myself being alone and this happening. Oh my gosh, I would freak out, actually. I'll be so scared. Oh. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!